Hello, I'm Aquatic and welcome back to another video. Now that we're in our second week of Minecraft Updated Aquatic Snapshots, the obvious question that comes from most people is when exactly will the update release? Because playing around with snapshots is fun, but the big question for those of you who aren't on snapshot platforms, or those who just don't want to play a beta, who want to wait for the full thing to come out so you can play it on your survival world, so you can experience it with friends, when exactly will the Updated Aquatic release for all platforms? And that's a big question, and although obviously there's no officially confirmed release date out there, one of the things I like to do is analyze previous updates, analyze the release date patterns, and give you an estimated release date, down to like the weeks, so that you can actually know when to expect this major update, because a lot of people will just say, oh, it feels like a June update, or it feels like it's coming out later this month, but the truth is obviously there's a lot more to it than that, and that's what today's video is all about. So here's the news and the analysis regarding the Updated Aquatics release date on all platforms. So hopefully you do enjoy this video, like if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like, again, these release date videos, because again, a lot of you find them useful, especially if you're not playing the Java version, and you can't experience these snapshots week by week. You want to know when you can get your hands on it. And the answer to that question is a tiny bit depressing, because it's not as soon as you might figure, because Jeb was recently at the, again, PC Gamer event. It was a small event dedicated to PC gaming in London, and at that event he said quite a few things. Here is a brief summary. He first said, first of all, our team is aiming to do 2 major feature releases per year, so now we're working on the Updated Aquatic, and we're planning to do 1 more this year, and we're planning in with 2 studios, and that's one of the reasons why. And then he finally says, we're trying to split the feature development and port them both ways. So what he's essentially saying right there is that he wants to have 2 updates this year, and the Updated Aquatic is going to be one of them. And you might listen to that and think, well, there's, a couple of ways you can think about that. He's going to have 1 big update, and then the rest of the year is going to be dedicated to 1 other update, 1.14. But the truth is it kind of sounds like he wants to split every year in 2 from now on, and have kind of like a 6-month development cycle for pretty much every single Minecraft update. And that sounds simple enough on the surface, but exactly when you release those updates is not, because as you all know, although there usually is Minecraft Christmas updates, Jeb in particular is kind of against the idea of Christmas updates, so that means that the very latest this thing would be releasing, if he wants to have the full almost 6 months for the next update too, would be June. So we now kind of know, given that they're splitting the year into 2, and given that they want to split every year from now on into 2, and also given that they don't want to release buggy updates, or they don't want to launch a update near Christmas, they want to do it a little bit before so they can bug fix it before, or launch it a little bit after. That means that the latest you can expect to see this update, given we're seeing 2 this year, would be June. But obviously that's not a great answer, like, oh, the latest June. You're saying anywhere from literally next week to June, Soycat. What a useful video. Wow, you only predicted 5 months. But no, that's just a that's a useful thing to keep in mind, because that's a really big deal. Sticking to 2 releases a year is actually an upgrade from the past, but it also tells us the latest this would be releasing, which would be kind of late June, and even then that's like a real stretch. So when exactly in those 4 months can you expect the update? Well, that comes that's something we're going to look at previous updates to kind of analyze, because there have been 3 updates that came out over the past 2 years, and 2 of them were fairly small, and 1 of them was fairly medium sized, and by looking at these previous updates we can get a feel for how long it takes to go from the first snapshot of something, again we're in our second week of the aquatic part of the updates, to the actual release day itself. And it's surprisingly long actually, because if we look at so this right here is 1.11, the update before the last update. As you can see, it started in 16W32 and then it took to a 16W44. Basically, if you can't work out why I just said those numbers, the W is the week of the year and the number at the start is the year. So that's 2016 week 32, and then the last snapshot was 2016 week 44. And that sounds complex, but basically 12 weeks between the first snapshot and the last snapshot, and when they started doing pre-release, and then there was a few more weeks after that before the actual release date. So we're talking about 15 weeks, just under 4 months, to go from 1.11 starting to exist, being starting to be a bit up to see it, to it actually going out there to all of us. And then if you look at the next one right here, you can see the exact same thing happening, where, basically this is 1.12, the update, the World of Color update. It started with 17W06, so the 6th week of 2017, and then it went to 2017 week 18, and then again the update released a few weeks after that one, but 12 weeks from the start to the end of snapshotting, and then a few weeks to do some pre-releasing, make sure it's really ready for everyone to have it and for realms to have it, for all that sort of stuff, and then the full release date on June the 7th, 2017. So obviously looking at both those things combined, again the current phase of Minecraft development, because it used to be that loads of updates would come out each year, but Minecraft is a much bigger product now. It's on all those platforms. Like he said, he has to make sure it's synchronized, have to make sure all the platforms can support feature, and they have to just do a lot more development, because the game, working on a bigger game is harder as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So because of that, the modern phase of Minecraft updates looks like there's about a 12-week, 3 months phase between the start of snapshots and the end, and then an extra month or so to get the update fully finalized. So 4 months from first snapshot to the the update coming out. So if we use that model, and given that the first snapshot was last week, you'd expect to see the update come out sometime in early June or the end of May. So again, towards the end of that time frame we're saying, but I still do think that even then that seems a little bit further than you would expect, and the reason for that is because if we take the third previous update, so 1.10, you can see how, like, even though that's most of their updates, some updates do go a lot faster. So this, the 1.10 update had literally 3 snapshots, from 16W20, the 20th week to 2016, to the 21st week. It took 1 week to go from, oh yeah, let's do this, to, oh, it's coming out, and then a few weeks to bug test and to get the full thing properly working, and then it released. So the time there was just a month, and given that that shows that they can do things significantly faster in some situations, and given that the 1.13 update, even though most people know it as the update Aquatic, it actually has been snapshotted for over a month now as they work on like the technical features. Because of that, that means the update's going to be a lot bigger, and that's huge, and they're still working on features to this day. That also means though that it's had a lot more time to already be cooking. So I would actually predict that it takes a little bit less time because we've had a month of snapshots already, and because sometimes they can get updates out really fast, and even though this is a huge update, it's something where the whole studio is working on it. They've been working on it since early last year. I would in fact go as far as to say, instead of expecting it late May, you can expect it probably towards the end of April, because although they're going to be finished, sometime in the end of March, the start of April, maybe as late as the end of April, that still means that the actual release date of the thing would, take a few more weeks after that, and you'd end up seeing an update at the end of April, or at least start of May, because honestly, if you're going to have 2 updates a year, there are a few times of year you really want to hit, and given that Christmas is not one of those times, and therefore, the other time shouldn't be like summer, that means that one of the logical times is like Easter, right? Easter's like that midway holiday in April for some reason, so that could be one of their release date aims, like try and get this thing out for the end of April, for, the Easter season, or whatever you call it. I know that's technically at the start of April, but like, it's Easter season-ish when people are doing Easter holidays, because I know that doesn't line up with the holiday itself either. Either way, it's just one of those things where like trying to hit that kind of time of year does make sense, because then that means if you're going on that 6-month release schedule, if you do it, let's just say end of April, start of May, that's my official kind of release date prediction here. That means that when you have those 6 months to work on the next update, then you can get that out long before Christmas, so you can guarantee it's bug fixed and working when Christmas does come around. So when can you expect the update Aquatic? I know this sounds like really far in the future, but I'm going to go ahead and say, based on these previous snapshots, based on Jeb's comment about having just 2 updates a year because of the complexity of getting on every other platform, and based on the fact that the Bedrock has to catch up perfectly with this one, like it did with 1.12, I would expect to see the update at the start of May or the end of April. But again, we could be seeing it as late as the end of June based on what Jeb said there. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got something from it. I'm super excited to get this update on the console edition. I'm super excited to get this update on the Bedrock edition. And honestly, I think this is going to be one of the best updates we've had in Minecraft, because we've already seen how they're not just changing water physics, they're changing the water biomes, they're changing water, how it interacts with light, like light physics in water. They're changing swimming. So many of these big things are having changes, and they're adding like more mobs than any update for a very, very long time. And it goes to show that like Minecraft is like going into this new phase of exciting development where we're seeing more and more features just added all the time, and I'm super pumped about that. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you disagree entirely with what I just said and you're like, oh, you said this, but really I get that conclusion, because that's what the video is kind of all about. It's like, here's my take on things, and so far we have a pretty close to accurate success rate. Like, usually my videos are like, only like a few days off if they're crazily off. And I even made a video literally a few days ago where I just before he made these comments, where I was like, you know what, actually it kind of makes sense that we will probably see 2 updates this year, maybe at a stretch a 3rd one, and then Jeb comes out and confirms 2 updates a year is the plan. So maybe that helps you feel confident, or maybe you thought this video was nothing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a nice day. Goodbye.